I realized today that I hadn't done a Hello Neighbor in the past 5 months, which is ridiculous to me because I often think about the community and what we can do and how we can do it. And then when I think back, I reflect upon the fact that, since February, March in life has been absolutely nonstop for me. And I am certain it would be for you as well, just because we are all under a shared sky. And I was thinking to myself today, what else can we do to engage with community? And I was meditating and I went, oh, I should do a Hello Neighbor. But then when I looked at the fact that I hadn't done one in 5 months, I went, oh my goodness, where has the time gone? And of course, today, for those of you who are astrologically minded, of course, today is also the new moon in Virgo. So it's a particularly good day to be focused on acts of service, community, kindness, and just doing good things for the sake of doing good things. So, yeah, which is why we're doing a Hello Neighbor today. Um, I was thinking about what do I want to talk about? Well, I've already talked about the preparation we need for the eclipse and so on and so forth. And you can go and look that up on my channel if you need to. But today I just wanted to say hi to the community, see what comes up, send a little love, and so on and so forth. And I see Vivi. Hello, Vivi. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate want to share or they want to talk about or want me to talk about, just let me know. Oh, I see Watchman. Hello, bro. Good to see you. We need to schedule our chat soon. I see Andre. Hello, Andre. Nice to see you. I always like seeing your emojis whenever I do a video. So, yeah, just as a recap for those of you who are new to this, Hello Neighbor is a series that started during the pandemic that was inspired by the work of Fred Rogers. And it doesn't really have a theme, it doesn't need to. It's just a space for community to come together, to say hi, to do things, and to just talk about anything at all. So you don't need to be focused on the serious stuff because Lord knows I have been doing that for the past 5 months nonstop. So I see Jolene. Hello from Guam. I like the word Guam. It sounds like a word a cat would say, Guam. But hello, Jolene. Good to see you. And yeah, oh, Andre sends me a rose and smileys. Thank you very much. I do like roses. I do like roses, sunflowers. Can't do lilies because A, I don't like them, and cats can't be around them. But roses are nice, so thank you. So, is there anything anyone wants to talk about, ask about? Can be serious, can be light, can be anything in general. That's the purpose of a Hello Neighbor. I did actually see recently that, I mean, I think most of you who are at least above the age of 30 should know who Koko the gorilla is. And she and her partner, Michael, were gorillas who were taught how to sign in sign language. And so they met a lot of people, and you could see how they had their own subjectivity, they had their own emotions, they could express it, and all that kind of thing. And recently I saw, and this is one of the things I like about Instagram because it shows you things you normally wouldn't see. I saw that Coco had two very special guests, two human beings I absolutely adore, Robin Williams and Fred Rogers. And in fact, Robin Williams went to see Coco as Coco was grieving the death of her longtime partner. And it was the first time Coco had laughed since she was in her mourning period. And of course, when she heard Robin Williams had passed away, she grieved. But with Fred Rogers, the story was a little bit lighter. When Fred Rogers went to see Coco, he she was very interested in unlacing his shoes and taking off his socks. And he was quite fascinated with a being that was so absolutely interested in him. And he enjoyed his visit with her. And, those are just two nice little things, two synchronicities that connect two souls who had a certain gift, a certain light, a deep compassion for humanity that I have always respected and intuitively understood. But it's something to look up. There are videos of it online if you need something to restore a little faith in humanity. Now, Vivi asks, why is the world in turmoil? In Kannada, they call this year the Krudi Nama Samvatsara, which translates vaguely to the year of anger. Well, astrologically speaking, you know what I'm going to say. Saturn and Neptune are both at the tail end of Pisces. That is the end of a major karmic cycle. all the old karmas and samsaras are coming up. That's what's going on. It's all being dredged up from the depths of everybody, and that process comes to a close in 2026. Whereupon I truly hope we will all have found a new way of being. So, yeah, the anger is coming up because there's so much of anger that's suppressed. There's so much of anger that's unhealed. There's so much of anger that a lot of entitled people carry. And this is a symptom of what people have. So, the people who are aligned with whatever you want to call as God, Goddess, Spirit, we're going to find our way. But it is going to take work and, of course, building community to walk together. But I hope that answers your question, baby. 2026 onwards, I actually have hope. So it's a case of hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Jolene asks what to do about confusing relationships under these transits. Should we try to fix it or wait till October? Now, this is Vivi's question is also very good, but this is a particularly interesting question because, see, Jolene, from October the 12th, on the same day Pluto finishes the retrograde and stations direct, you're going to be seeing Perius in Libra. And that's going to start a couple of years of backdoor central in relationships. So, honestly speaking, I would say don't wait till October. Look at what you can do to address the situation now. A lot of the times, relationships are very confusing because the reason why you're in a relationship is a karma between people that started maybe even in a different lifetime. And a lot of the times, it tends to be a service contract. Maybe it was someone you loved, you couldn't have saved, or maybe it was someone you simply cared about so much to the point that you would have given yourself up. So, these are things that if you clear now, you're more likely to be able to make better decisions in October. Watchman says good old Uranus stationing, I'm guessing stationing retrograde has seen more earthquake activity. Yep, I'm not at all surprised. And I suspect we're actually going to see more of that as Uranus eventually leaves Taurus. Eventually. VB said, I read somewhere that the zodiac sign dates have changed. Is it true or is it fake news? It depends if you recognize the authority that has claimed it. Basically, there's a group that claimed that it is now time to include another constellation called Ophiuchus, or however you pronounce it. And they basically decided this, so that would change the dates of the zodiac. So if you recognize as what they're saying is legitimate, then you can say, yes, all the zodiac dates have changed. But I would say there's a reason why that for thousands and thousands of years, human civilizations that have been aware of the fact that there were 88 constellations kept it to the 12. So people wanting to go and make differences now for whatever reasons, well, maybe it works for them. But when I looked at it for myself, it didn't resonate with me. So I just stick with what I know because it gets results. Jolene says, thank you, most welcome. I mean, right now, really, just whatever you're facing in life, however dense it is, however complicated it is, understand that the roots are usually something deeper. And it's probably not something in your face. So if it's something that your logical mind cannot comprehend and you've done your inner work and understood yourself psychologically and you're still making the same choices, then you have to look at things from a spiritual perspective because that's when you'll actually find your answers. So, that's something that people can actually take to heart if they so choose. But yeah, there's a lot that's happening. And I would say, even in our lives right now, there's a lot of health issues. This month where I'm wondering how am I going to make rent. And I just have to keep reminding myself, keep walking in faith, keep doing what you're here to do, and trust that the community will support you and spirit will find a way to get you through. Everyone is facing some kind of a pressure right now, and I'm very, very suspicious of the people who don't. Because this is the time for all of us to, be taken down a notch. This is a time for all of us to face whatever we haven't faced with as much humility as possible. And that process is going to be continuing well into November. But what I feel is that this next 2 months, if we navigate it with discernment and if we navigate it with faith, ultimately, if we navigate it with faith, we will find a way through. That's honestly what I feel. Now, I see some guy called Peter Petrelli who has decided to call me a scammer. Well, my dear, if you actually knew how real astrology was, you would shit yourself. So get off my channel. But if there are anything else that anyone would like to talk about, anyone would like to ask about, do let me know. Do let me know. Let me see. Here we go. Now, I see Yessie. Yessie, hello Yessie. How are you? How are you? It's very, very good to see you. I was actually thinking about you yesterday, and I was wondering how you were getting on. So I'm quite happy to see you. How are you? How's your son? How is everything going? Let me know. We're just doing a hello neighbor today because I realized the fact that I hadn't done one in 5 months. It has been an absolutely full on period, absolutely full on. But I figured today was a good day to do it, given the fact that the new moon is in Virgo, and it's just a good day to reach out, be of service in a way that is sustainable. And, as you may have noted when you come in, to also take out the riffraff. But yeah, if there's anything anyone would want to ask or anyone want to talk about, feel free. It's a hello neighbor. It's open. Andre says, are there particular planetary positions for particular signs for financial wealth right now? See, this is the thing. You can't tell by your sign. And this is one of the reasons why I am dismayed when astrologers teach people to only look at their sun signs. Because more important than your sun sign is the actual layout of the chart. Rather than looking at your sun sign, you need to be looking at what is going on in your second house and in your eighth house for money in particular. But in general, what I can tell you is if you have a strongly aspected Uranus right now, as in transiting Uranus, that will actually indicate greater opportunities for you, financially speaking. So you have to look at what it's doing in your chart. Where is it? Because you can always generate abundance from any house in the chart. It's not limited to these two, but it's most obvious in houses 2 and 8. So, go to astro.com or whatever software you use, look at what's sitting in your second house, eighth house. That is what will give you more information, not your sun sign. Um, let's see. Hearts unite. Hello, sweetie. Hi, all. Glad to hear similar experiences out there. Curious to hear you speak about the difference between hope and faith. Now, this is a good question. And I have thought about this question a lot of times. I feel that hope is something that we aspire to. We can hope for a certain outcome. We can hope that things align in a certain way or go in a certain direction. But faith is different. Whether or not your hopes are manifested, whether or not things go the way you want them to be, faith is an active state of being. It's something that you persevere through, irrespective of what is happening around you. And that is why very often you see faith most obviously in those circumstances where what you hope for is not happening. Now, it doesn't always have to be that way. The best, alignment or configuration is when you have faith and hope and things are going your way. But that's not always going to be all the time. I hope that answers your question. Yes, he says, miss you, and I was watching your videos from last week. Very informative. Thank you for the information. Very helpful. I am so glad to hear it. Thank you so much. I do my best. I do my best. Andre says, thank you very much. Most welcome. My brother is thinking about trying to get me to do something a little bit more lighthearted because one of my hobbies is to look at, the astrology or different dates or things that I'm interested in. So hopefully we'll come up and do something, a little more lighthearted, but on a separate page and channel. But of course, I'll tell you about it if that comes to pass. So we are quite happy that, we're starting a new project, but we'll see. One thing I do want to tell all of you, and for those of you who know me well enough, you won't be surprised I'm saying this. If you're looking for a little bit of inspiration right now, trust me and watch Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the 2019 film. Just watch it. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling low, especially close to that lunar eclipse coming up, go watch Godzilla. 2019, King of the Monsters. If you have any spiritual inclination that is similar to mine, you will understand why. So, having said that, any other questions or any other things that anyone would like to talk about or just general stuff you're wondering that you may want a little bit of guidance on, because hey, that's the purpose of Hello Neighbors. Um, Let me know. I'm around, at least for the moment. But yeah, so if there's any questions, just feel free to type it. Let me just see whilst I'm thinking. Is there anything else that I want to share or anything else that I want to talk about? Well, I did do a little post on this yesterday, and since we are live, I'll talk about it again. I found this because yesterday I was having a good, hard, long cry because, as I said, we're wondering how we're going to make rent. I was having a really good, hard, long cry, and all of a sudden, I was clearing out a drawer and I found that little token. And I had actually bought this in Lourdes, in France, for a friend of mine, but I'd forgotten to send it. But I'm sending her something else, so I decided I'm going to keep it anyway. And it is, of course, I hold it up again. It is, of course, the dove. It is the symbol of hope and peace. So when I was really, really feeling low yesterday, which unsurprisingly would probably be on count of Pluto re-entering Capricorn, because God knows there's a lot of things I can cry about, it disappeared and it really cheered me up. And I hope that, you look for signs of hope and grace and faith and all of that good stuff where you are, because heaven knows we need it. So that was something good that happened. Other interesting things, I have realized that I like drinking cardamom and coffee. Also, I've been cutting out dairy as much as I can. So I've been drinking cardamom and coffee, but not a lot every day because I'm on quite a few meds. And it is actually very nice. I highly recommend it. A little bit of cardamom. It really just perks you up and it gives you a little bit more focus for the day, especially if you're feeling a little low. I mean, if you look at it, cardamom is fire element, coffee is fire element. You put it together, it makes sense. Yeah, also, interestingly enough, I found a very nice lake, not too far from where we are, but because of financial constraints, I don't go there too often. And it had monitor lizards. And as you should know by now, I am a huge Godzilla fan. So when I got there and I saw these fellows happily swimming around, I just went, okay, yeah, this is it. So I have found a nice little lake that I like going walking around. And they also have huge catfish and carp that will literally bite your hand off. So, when I can take my cane and go pitter-pottering for a walk, I do. So that is also a nice thing that has recently happened. And I just haven't had the headspace, the time to catch you up on all of that. But yes, anything else that's been going on for you, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask, it's your space. Otherwise, I can wrap this up early. So, in the meantime, I can think about anything else. Let's see, cardamom coffee, Godzilla Lake, which is what I call it in my head. Um, oh, yeah, and eagles have been coming to my window, which is something that has always happened. But they've been coming a bit more intensely recently, especially in times where I've had to make very key decisions, and eagle will suddenly appear, and you don't see them that often in Kuala Lumpur. You really don't. And I'm just like, okay, on the right path. Continue, continue, continue. So some good signs, pushing through a lot of adversity, but some good signs, and that's how we keep going. We find what we need to push us through whatever comes up. Now, also on September the 5th, we're going to be celebrating the 11th year anniversary of me doing this work publicly. So I am going to be announcing a very special new session then, or whatever else Spirit guides me to do. So I want you to keep your ears peeled for that. But I don't see any other questions, so maybe I have already answered whatever needs to be answered at this time. But I'll just wait for a minute before logging off, and then, we can all get on with whatever it is that we're doing. So let me see. In the meantime, let me think about, is there anything else that I might want to share? Anything I did that's particularly nice or cool? Well, I've been meditating a lot, like a lot, a lot, a lot, which is, you know, pretty much fits in with the times. Um, no, can't think of, oh, here we go. Uh, Dianpu just says, no questions, just a thank you and a smile. Happy to catch you. Thank you. And yes, cardamom coffee is lit. Wichita's chick says, my lucky cat karma is burning me out, I guess. I need to reset nerves and adrenal. Lucky Cat is a cat that she rescued. To reset nerves and adrenals. Roadrunner ran in front of me. Little mice brought by neighbors. Sending love. I just can't sleep. Understand. That does sound like you need some sleep. Oh, hang on. Her own guardian. Advice for maintaining an open heart when surrounded by hostility. That's a very good question. And that is definitely a lesson that I have needed to learn. Um, what I have found is that when your heart is open, like really open, it's not touchy feely, it's not reactive, it's not trying to go and save someone or fix things or whatever, it is just present. So when the thing is, the way people talk about, well, I'm coming from my heart, a lot of the times they're meaning the lower chakras, which can be a lot more touchy-feely and a lot more invested in outcome. Actual heart-centered consciousness is a very, very different thing. It is detached. And in fact, maintaining that consciousness when you are facing hostility is the most powerful thing that you can do. But you won't try to fix things. You won't try to heal things. You won't try to do anything beyond being precisely yourself. Try that and see how it goes. Just don't put the expectations on what people have taught you what being in the heart is, because it is a different thing. Wichita Stick says, yes, very good. Thank you and bless you. Most welcome. Savita says, hi, dear. Good to see you. Good to see you too. It's nice to, just chat with community. I realized today I hadn't done one of these in 5 months, and I was like, oh my goodness. No, 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 no. We need to do one today. So it has been quite a roller coaster. But yeah, so we've already talked about a fair bit of things, and we're just wrapping up and, just collecting any last bits of questions of things people may want to know about or things people may want to talk about, and so on and so forth. But it is good to see all of you, and I am so deeply appreciative for all of you on my journey. I mean, I know even like earlier this year, I had that huge, huge tax amnesty thing to face. And I think about 30 to 40 of you came through, and most of it was loans, so I still need to repay the people who helped. But we got through the deadline at the right time. And I am so absolutely humbled and grateful for everyone who came through. And honestly, I'm still processing the fact that that huge, huge burden is gone. But of course, as I said, still got to repay everybody back. And I'm thinking about ideas of how to best do that. Savita says, what a year it has been. Phew. Oh, trust me, November and December have a lot more coming. Oops, sorry, that is a pill alarm. I should have shut that off. November and December have a lot more coming, but I don't think it's going to be bad. We just need to get through September and October. These are the months that I have the most concerns about. But as soon as I feel that really the way we navigate the next 2 months is going to open up a lot of things, it feels like we're finally pushing through that bottleneck. But that's my opinion. But all right, so I'm going to wrap it up. So take care. Very many blessings to everyone. Lots and lots and lots of love to all of you. And stay tuned for the announcement on September the 5th, which will be the 11th anniversary of me doing this work publicly. So take care. Lots of love. Bye bye, everyone.